Welcome to Above Par. I'm your host, Kathy Hartwood. I show you how to take more of your talent to the golf course without practicing harder, taking more lessons, or buying new equipment. I show you how to end the frustration of underperforming so you can start playing to your potential. This is where you are going to learn how to think above par so you can play below par.
Hello, my golf friends. Welcome back to Above Par. I'm so glad that you're here. Hopefully you're still playing golf with some beautiful fall weather that we for sure have had here in Charlotte. And I know I was in New Jersey and I was in Wisconsin and it was all so beautiful. I love playing golf in the fall. I just think it's just the prettiest, unless you can't find your golf ball with the leaves, right? That becomes a problem. That's just no fun. You know your ball is there, but there's a million leaves on the fairway or in the rough and you can't find it. That kind of stinks. But otherwise, I love fall golf. So I hope you're having an amazing time. Today, I just wanted to talk about going backwards or feeling like you've blown it or you lost it or you're not making the progress that you thought you were making. And this happens a lot with my clients and the people who are in my group that I talk with. It happens a lot when you're playing golf as well. We feel like we're making so much progress, whether it's with our swing or with our thoughts and how we're managing our mind. And then we have things that happen and we tell ourselves the story that we're not as good as we thought we were, that we've gone backwards, that we've lost everything, that I thought I was doing so well and I'm not. So I want to paint a picture for you in a couple different scenarios and see if you fit in any of these scenarios or if you can relate to it. And then I want to talk about the mindset, a powerful mindset that you should have about all of this, or that's going to help serve you. Sometimes we go out thinking, maybe you're listening to the podcast and you're doing all the work and you have some great thoughts and you're practicing positive thoughts. You're noticing more of your negative thoughts. You're dealing with your emotions on a quicker basis. You're trying to play from calm, certain, and confident as often as possible. But then you go out and you find that the thoughts that worked the day before or maybe worked over the summer aren't working anymore, right? And now you think that something's broken or that you're doing it wrong. The thing that I want to tell you about thoughts is that I do think that thoughts have a shelf life, but you always want to tap into them and make sure that they're resonating with you. A lot of times I will talk with people and they're like, yeah, but I have all these great thoughts, like just swing well or put a good move on it or have nice tempo. And those thoughts are fine if they resonate with you, if you feel it and you believe it. But if it's like whipped cream on poop, right? To clean that phrase up. Like if you're saying these thoughts over some really crappy thoughts, they are not going to have any traction. They're not going to stick. They might have had great traction before, but maybe now you don't believe them as much. Maybe now it's the time to just tweak them a little bit. You may have gone from thinking, I never get off to a good start, and you decide, I'm going to start thinking that it's possible I could get off to a good start. And you hang out with that for a while. And you move it up to, most of the time I get off to a good start. And then you kind of let that thought just dissipate and don't use it anymore. And you go out and play and then you're noticing you don't believe that thought anymore. It's time to tweak it. You might have to go back to, it's possible I can get off to a good start. You might have to go to something else. And the way that you know is you want to get in tune with how it feels. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, what number belief do you have in that? Is it at least a 7? Then it's probably going to have some traction. But if your brain wants to spit it out, right, and reject it, like call BS on that thought, if you're around a 4 or 5, then you want to tweak that thought until you can get to a 7. Nothing has gone wrong. This is just a process. After a while, if we say the same things to ourselves over and over again, it just becomes noise in the background. Kind of like on the Peanuts, right? That little, was it wah, 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 right? It's just a noise in the background. It doesn't have any traction. So just because a thought doesn't work anymore that used to work or that you used to have success with doesn't mean anything has gone wrong. Just check back in with it. You might need to tweak it again. You might have to change it. You might have to discard it and get a new one. But your barometer is your belief on a scale of 1 to 10, get it to at least a 7 so that you know that it has traction. And this is the other thing. Words can sound lovely. You might have some beautiful thoughts like, I'm an amazing putter. I had that one for decades. No, I'm a good putter. I would just kind of keep convincing myself, but my brain would spit it out, like call BS on it quickly. Right? It didn't believe it. So it sounds good, looks good on paper, but it matters on how you perceive it, how you feel it. And there is nothing wrong. I can promise you, I did this when I was playing for a living, that I went to, it's possible I could putt well today. Not an amazing tour player thought, but I had to go there because my brain totally rejected the other thought. So I had to come up with something that created a little bit of hope while I was out there playing. Okay, so the first thing is, if your thoughts aren't working anymore, nothing has gone wrong, you want to just tweak them. The other one is, you might find that you're playing a lot of consistent golf. You're not having any more blow up holes. You've been finishing pretty well. Your scores have been great or that you like. And then you have this crazy round and you shoot this big number. Right? And then we can start telling ourselves that something's gone wrong. First, most people, I'm going to just say, they look at their swing. They think their swing is broken. But you might also, especially if you're doing this mental work, right, managing your thoughts, you might notice that you just had a bunch of crappy thoughts going in. It's almost like you got mentally exhausted and quit trying, kind of threw in the towel a little bit. And then you had this big number. Again, nothing has gone wrong. This is going to happen. One of the things that I got out of my liberal arts college education as an economics major was everything is a cycle. It goes up and down. It ebbs and flows. Nothing stays the same. And that includes your golf game and fashion and politics and weather and relationships. Like everything just goes up and down. That concept is not too different than the concept of 50-50, where there's not everything is always good and not everything is always bad. This is going to happen in golf. Of course, you do try and avoid some of the big, huge dips, right? We want to be a little bit more consistent, but you're going to go through periods of time where you're not scoring as well as you used to. Nothing has gone wrong. You felt like you lost your concentration or focus coming in, and then you start telling yourself that you've blown it, that you've gone backwards, or that you've lost it. It's not the case. Some days we just can't focus. Some days we just aren't there. Some days we're a little mentally tired. We don't have to make it mean that we're not making progress. The other one is stopping negative thoughts, where you might go out and play and you're like, I just had a ton of negative thoughts. I couldn't stop it. It's like we're getting bombarded with them. It's like the movie The Birds. Just all these negative thoughts are hitting us nonstop. And we think that we're not doing as well as we used to do, that there's a problem. Like, I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to manage my mind. Now I can't manage my mind. This isn't too different than my concept that I talked about green light days and red light days. Some days we have green light days where we catch every green light. Our brain is really quiet. On the golf course, that would be like the sun is shining, the weather's perfect. I love my group. I love my tee time. I was swinging nice and smooth. I had a nice day going into it. It was a wonderful day. I want every day to be like that. But that's not the case. This goes back into my 50-50 thing. Some days are red light days. We catch all the red lights and we're bitching the whole time and complaining. And we have lots of thoughts that we have to deal with on the golf course quickly. We kind of whine and moan that this is just a harder day. This day just feels heavier. It's more work. What happened to those times when I just had all these really simple thoughts to deal with? Why today do I have so many thoughts? Something's gone wrong. I'm not doing it right. I'm broken. I'm not doing as well as I thought I was doing. And I just want to tell you, this is part of the process. You are going to have days where your brain is super busy. You are going to have days where you just don't have the mental energy to grind like you used to. You're going to have days where your thoughts just aren't resonating with you. You're going to have days where you have a series of blow up holes. This is part of golf. And this is called being a human with a human brain. When you can start accepting that you're going to have ups and downs, there is no done. You don't learn this process. You don't learn the golf swing and go, okay, I'm done. I'm good. I got it. All right, let's go on to the next thing. Pickleball. Let me master pickleball. It's not the way it works, because you have a human brain that has a negative bias to it, that is always chirping at you. And you have patterns that you have in your brain. I call them like water stains on the ceiling that creep in every once in a while. And you can have a series of events that help them creep in. Your perfectionism, your people pleasing, feeling like a victim, feeling sorry for yourself, worrying about what other people think, judgment. Those can come back even though you felt like you've done so much work with tools and tactics to help minimize it. Nothing has gone wrong. You are not broken. You have a human brain playing a complicated game, and it's all a cycle. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. You have not gone backwards. I'm going to tell you that the only time you go backwards is if you quit, if you stop trying, if you stop working, if you stop working the process, if you let the back of your brain take over, if you let all the negative thoughts take over, if you give them the microphone back. Right? This is part of the problem too, is we've given those crappy thoughts in the back of our head the microphone. They've been the loudest. And the work is pulling the microphone away from those thoughts like, I suck. I'm never going to figure this out. I always have blow up holes. This game is so hard. I put in so much work and I'm not seeing any progress. We keep giving the microphone to those crappy thoughts. They become louder and louder and louder. And then when we put in the effort to pull the microphone away, it takes a little of energy. It takes some persistence. But that thought is over there waiting for that microphone. It will grab it back if you let it happen. And some days it gets it. That's it. Some days those thoughts pop up like water stains on the ceiling. So I just want to remind you, my friends, you have not gone backwards if you're having a bad day. If you're having a bad day swinging the golf club, or if you're having a bad day mentally, or if you're just mentally fatigued, or you have some blow up holes, nothing has gone wrong. This is part of being a human playing golf. Stick with it. You're only gone backwards if you quit. All right. You got this. If I can help you at all, make sure to check out kathyhartwood.com. All right. Have a beautiful week. I'll talk to you next Wednesday. Bye.